Great, and we'll just do a sound check. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Great, okay.
I think I need to.
I'd mentioned to Beth that you all just gonna have to excuse me tonight. I'm gonna be going in and out of camera, no camera, mute, unmute.
Yes, he did, and he was gracious enough, Greg, to do this so that I could be here in person, so that I could chair this meeting, as the vice chair. Which I appreciate. Okay, ready to call to order? Yeah. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Could I get a motion to open the meeting?
I move that the school committee open the meeting of, what is it, the 10th? 12th.
The 11th.
The 11th,
Yeah, the 11th, okay. Could I get a second?
Second.
Awesome. Now that the meeting has been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great.
Aye.
All right, meeting's open. Let's do our flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Okay, did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes from the meeting of April 14th, 2026 as presented.
Wonderful. Greg, do you mind seconding?
Second.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. Okay. Wonderful to see everybody today. We have some visitors. We have three amazing teachers from the Johnson Elementary School, and we have Brianna Alvarez from the Daily Item, and we have Patty Harris, Select Board woman. Yay! And
Jacqueline Fallon.
Jacqueline Fallon. Very nice. Thank you so much for coming. Would anybody, we'll move right into correspondence and community input. Would anybody, before the teachers, would anybody from the crowd like to say anything? And did anybody receive any correspondence on the school committee? No. Greg, Meredith, or myself, I did not.
No, I have not.
Okay, excellent. And the presentation by the teachers is going to be a little bit, right, after we do the bills.
We're actually going to splice in under correspondence and community input. It's left off the agenda, but I think it's appropriate.
Yep.
Principal's report, superintendent's report.
Right now.
Yeah.
I love it. Great.
So I'll start. I'll do the principal.
Mr.
I'll
Luba,
do the superintendent's report.
Great.
The first item is to remind everybody that town meeting is Saturday at 12:30 at Nahant Town Hall. And it's different than the normal town meeting because it has two potential proposed overrides for consideration by the voters. So there's a level service budget article, and that has to pass to be able to have a budget for the town. And then there are two proposed overrides. One is $1 million override that contains the items that we have on that override that total $191,000 of the million, and also has a substantial amount for the fire department's restructuring and restaffing. And that includes a potential for 4 new firefighters. And then there's a override called the modest override, and that is for $650,000. That also includes the items of our 191. So either of the two overrides, the school requests are there. And a lower amount for the fire department being able to increase their ability to respond to firefighters, maybe using on-call firefighters, utilize that money possibly for an additional firefighter, but it's a lower amount for that. The school items are $79,000 for an expansion of the existing ELA math interventionist position from 0.37 to full-time. It has $6,000 increase in professional development. We added a new math program. We're going to be adding an English structured program to that. And professional development is key, especially to the younger staff, to be able to make sure that that is implemented with fidelity. It continues the greenhouse stipend. That's about $5,700. And it also reduces our dependence on circuit breaker by $100,000 from $300,000 to $200,000. And that's a much safer number to be able to have for unanticipated expenses that could arise at any time during the school year. The $300,000 commitment makes things really, really, really tight. So those are the school requests. Now, if the level service budget passes at town meeting, which is the first element, then it would go on to those two proposed overrides. If both of those receive a positive response at town meeting, they then go to a ballot in early June, I believe, is that ballot. And it's important to know that at the ballot box, if both of those proposed overrides, the modest as well as the $1 million one, receive a positive vote, that it's not the one with the most votes that moves forward. It's the one that presents the higher amount that becomes the passed override. So that has to do with state law with regard to how overrides are conducted.
So then, Mr. Lebo, would that mean, wouldn't that wipe out the modest and just have the million if it was the higher number?
Well, there's one for 650 and there's one for $1 million. So
Right.
if everybody goes to the bed, if they both clear the bar
Right.
at town meeting and people feel, well, we ought to let the voters decide.
Right.
And we're just putting it forward and moving it on to the ballot box so that folks that maybe couldn't go to town meeting can still do their research and cast a
Right.
vote.
So the vote this Saturday just puts it on the ballot.
Correct.
It doesn't solve anything. And it puts one of those two on the ballot? Or
Well, it could be neither of those two get
it could
to
be
the ballot.
neither.
It could be they both get to the ballot.
Okay.
Or only one that is the town meeting's attendance choice that goes to the ballot.
Okay.
If they both receive a majority vote at town meeting, they both go on the ballot.
Okay.
And that's the finance committee's recommendation, is that the people should decide that.
Mhm.
I think the strange nature of the state law is that most people would go into a ballot situation thinking, well, it's going to be the one that receives the most votes that moves forward. If they both pass, it's not the one with the most votes. It's the one that receives enough votes to pass, but has the higher amount to it.
Which would benefit the $1 million one if it received the most votes to pass.
You want to be pretty well schooled in what that vote meant. And of course, you don't know what other people are going to do.
Right.
But you're going in there and you have to decide, well, should I vote for both?
Right.
Should I vote for one versus the other? Only the higher, only the lower?
Where does that schooling happen?
What's that?
Where does the schooling happen? So you said you have to be well schooled for that. How do you learn about
Well, I think
this?
you read the finance committee report.
Isn't there
The
also,
annual report from the town.
Right.
And we are lucky enough to have a select board member with us tonight, newly elected. You might recognize as the former chair of the Nahant School Committee.
Vaguely familiar.
That could add to
Yeah.
that discussion as we.
Tomorrow, Allison is having a Zoom meeting at 7 p.m. The details are on the page, and she's going to walk over the the key items in the finance book. Obviously, the override being a huge item.
Yeah,
She did a presentation at a community breakfast over a week ago, but she's going to do it again tomorrow. So I really recommend that people attend that tomorrow. It's an opportunity to ask questions.
that's great. Yeah, I worry about the timing for young families. 7 o'clock is bedlam. But hopefully many people can attend and they're really educated about these two overrides.
So that's the first part of my report. The second, this relates to the final year's activity at the greenhouse project. We're hoping on June 1st and 2nd to have a farmer's market.
Yep.
Where people can donate and pre-order produce. We don't want to harvest too much. We don't want to harvest too little and have people come over and say, well, sorry, everything's gone. So we'll harvest on Monday and say the following items are available. 29 bags of gem lettuce. How many would you like? Or whatever. Limited to 3 per customer. Kale. Actual cherry tomatoes are blooming out there now. Spinach, Swiss chard. And then people are sort of pre-ordered and they just come, the kids will set up a table, they'll have a donation jar. They can't set a price for it because that is not allowed, but they can request donations so that they can have funding for some new seeds next fall and that sort of thing. And it'll be the kids' experience with marketing. So I'm going to do that as a final activity. And that would make up my superintendent's report.
Thank you.
Okay, so our teaching and learning has been going strong here at Johnson. We are just finishing up our MCAS for the spring this week. Students and teachers, staff should be commended for the hard work and preparation. Students have come very well prepared and energetic in the start of their day. They love their beginning of day snacks in orange juice and either Chex Mix or a breakfast bar, their selection, they get to choose. I come down the hall and I'm like, I pretend it's about me. It's really about my snacks, but it's okay. They get very excited. They've been using the time. I would say the majority of the students took the assessment very seriously, and that's wonderful. I tried to communicate as much as I could with families to let them know, the importance of being here on time and how we use that data to look at our programming and our staffing and all of the interventions that we have to put into place for students and the curriculum decisions we make. So I think that's helped people to know the reasoning behind MCAS and that it's not just a test that they take one day. It's really that high stakes for us. We're starting to transition our 6th graders into the Swansfoot Middle School. So part of that transition is having conversations between both schools, sharing data, and then the students will be visiting the school on June 12th for a big blue day. Yeah, so they're going for a whole day to the school with our teachers to go over with them. Their graduation is scheduled for June 11th in the evening at the town hall. So invite everybody to be there for that. See what else have we been doing. So there's a lot of activities that they have planned too. So if you're a 6th grade parent, you'll be getting inundated. Keep up with your news so you know what's going on. Yes, there's a lot of events going on. Kids are really excited about it. I think they're ready to check out already. We go over, but they're and then our benchmark assessments for our last round this year we're opening the window on May 18th. It's a little earlier than anticipated, but we do have some professional development planned for May 22nd half day. I've invited Renaissance Star, which is our assessment company that we work with, and they have some professional development. They're gonna, I've kind of prepped with them in advance for looking at benchmark data and what growth students have had this year, and then what types of reports do we have in STAR that teachers can use to, a lot of questions have come up for the evaluation of like what reports give us the best data to know the growth our students have had. So we want to spend some time in analysis and looking really closely at that, and then looking at the Massachusetts standards within that and where we need to make some adjustments for next year with that. So then that'll be the first part of that PD day, and then the rest of that time will be transition meetings where teachers will meet with looking at the data with their teacher as a receiving teacher. And then on the reciprocal end during PLCs, they'll do the same process. So it's like almost modeling it through that day, and then Wednesdays PLCs, and they'll do that. So my goal behind that is really to have people have the same common language, looking at assessments and growth, and then really planning in advance for next year what types of programming or changes for that. Any questions on any of that so far? Okay, great. And then great news, been keeping this secret for a while because I wasn't allowed to announce it. Over here in the corner, we have 150 brand new Chromebooks. Yay. And good job. So Nori and I at the library, we wrote a grant together, and it was through the online grant program from the Massachusetts Technology Collaborative. You have a flyer or an article in your items numbers around what that is. So if you want to read more about what the grant is. Basically, we wrote a grant. This is allowing for technology to get in the hands of more of our families and students. So I put in for 150 new Chromebooks and then 4 carts to charge them. They're ginormous carts. So I'm really excited for them. They're on wheels. You can put them in between classrooms. And they also lock up so that they're secure. So the only drawback was after we got everything was that they need licenses for educational licenses, which is a little bit costly, but Chris and I have been working our magic with some grant money that is to be able to allocate that money there. I was panicking and sweating a little bit better. We may be taking some of those donations from the garden. I can use that for my licenses. I don't think I need to do that. So we're very excited for that. And that those should go probably, well, before June, we want to get them kind of into circulation. That's actually part of the stipulation. So our goal in the IT department and I have been working together to look at issuing these, and then they follow the student with them their whole time. So whatever their issued computer is their computer while they're here at Johnson. And then when they graduate, those go to the younger kids, and then they just kind of keep rotating through. But that will help kids to become accountable for their devices, and we'll have policies, or I would say, yeah, we'll have to do a policy probably for technology to be able to have an agreement with families, and if anything gets broken, they'll have to replace what we have, because this is, I don't see us getting something like this again in the future. So we really want to hold kids accountable to that.
Are people going to miss the old Chromebooks? No. Are you sure you're not? I was just
You mean the
checking.
crack screens and the sides all pulled off?
And everything else.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Good news for you guys.
So we'll probably keep a lot of those for loaners, and then you know, just for learning to type and things like that. So just recycle them through somehow. So our Johnson community, we're super excited to be rebranding Scoops Night. It's going to be the Johnson Elementary Community Night. And so this is going to be we wanted to kind of change the traditional, you get a portfolio, you sit down, you look through the portfolio, and you're like, great job, child. And then you go home. So we wanted to be more of a showcase of how amazing Johnson Elementary School is. So each teacher is either working within a team, whether independently or with, like, I know first grade or kindergarten, I think, has the nurse working with them too. There's lots of collaborations going on. But the goal is that the students work with the staff to create presentations that the kids and the families will all experience when they come to the school. So one example of that is third graders, in Gabby's class, they're going to do, are you smarter than a third grader? And so there'll be a competition between the adults and the kids. And so the kids will come up with all of their ideas for developing that process. So everyone will be different. I think pre-K is going to be an underwater experience, as well as I think first grade's working on something for underwater as well. So there's a lot of different ideas that are floating around, no pun intended, that have to do with community building. We've invited a couple of outside entities to come in and do some work with us. I know there's some possibilities that there may be some collaborations with classrooms outside organizations too. I've reached out to the marine fisheries to see if they might have someone come to have a table set up about safety and water safety and the marine life around here. So with fishing, like fishing licenses and making sure kids are getting like additional exposures. And our goal is over time to turn this into a community. So it would be even more people being able to come together. This night is open to families, students, and citizens of Nahant. So we invite everybody, families, grandmas, everybody, everyone's invited to come. We think it's a nice way to showcase the great things that the students and staff do here at Johnson. So we hope you'll be here. Another great news. Gosh, the money is just flowing my way. I wish it was really going in my pocket. The Nahant Garden Club has been we've been kind of going back and forth with ideas for out front. And I have this flagpole dream of a bunch of landscaping changes for out front. And the Nahant Garden Club has generously offered to donate $500 toward the flagpole project. So we're excited for that too, because we need to get it looking better than it looks when we do for the winter time. So I think $500 sounds like a lot, but it's maybe that we're going to just start to focus first on the center and then expand out. I do have a couple of renditions on my phone that I can show you my ideas. That's cool. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you need to do anything with a donation that large, but
Do we know? I don't think we've ever accepted grants before, like in a motion or anything.
Yeah. Okay. So just wanted to make sure you were aware of it. So it's a nice donation. Upcoming events, there are many. So grade 6 field trips going to the Museum of Fine Arts on May 18th. As I mentioned earlier, the start of our benchmark window for testing is May 18th. May 21st, grade 4 is going to the aquarium and they're taking the ferry over. May 22nd is a half day. It's also our professional development day, as well as our art club that we have the cultural grant for. They're heading on to the Cordova Sculpture Park. That's an after school, so a half day early release, and then the kids will go to that. There's no school on May 25th because of Memorial Day. However, it is a special day because we have students who are marching in the parade, playing instruments and music. And congratulations to Beth for your son. He won the Gettysburg Address. So Galileo Anderson Sinclair will be reciting the Gettysburg Address during that presentation. That was tough competition, a lot of kids.
It was, it really was.
Meredith, thank you, you were judging.
He did an outstanding job.
But what a wonderful thing that it was like 6 or 7 students memorized enough of it to
Yeah.
compete.
Yes.
What a great thing for the Johnson School to say. I mean, maybe that happens every year. I don't know, because I've only got some great ones so far. But it's so great. It's such a role model. I think, you know, he incessantly gives us the speech. I know,
It's not on the way.
I know the Gettysburg Address, and I'm happy to know it. And Orion has started, you know, and so, you know, I think watching, so that now multiply that by 6 or 7 students, you know, that are practicing this. It's such a great thing.
The one thing I'd like to mention, having gone through the whole Gettysburg Address situation myself, this used to be a 9th grade undertaking.
Right.
And
From a standards-based thing.
I have no idea if it was standards, but it was 9th grade as far as way back when. And to see the 6th graders step up
Nail it.
is equally amazing, because that it's a tricky thing to memorize.
It's very tricky, and it's thinking about, so, well, I would say, just as somebody who loves history and is a little worried about the world right now, for to talk about what soldiers have done and then our responsibility as citizens to take that forward is it's sort of always, right? And it's, I think, particularly important now to think about the founding of our country as we think about how we move forward, you know, in a more unified world, however you intersect with that. And so I've been trying to like talk a lot about the meaning of the Gettysburg Address in these times. And so for the students to be sitting in those words, and it is complicated to think about that, you know, because Galileo was like, why, you know, what does this mean about the hallowed ground, right? And it was a great entry point that you teed up and Mysterio teed up for us to be able to talk about that, which is great. It's wonderful.
That's great. I think that's how we ended up winning, because he had meeting behind it. He had more pausing
Right.
in the appropriate place. So it's great.
Yeah, great.
May 28th, grade 3 is going on a walk to the Nahant Historical Society visit. Keep your winter tradition. And June 4th is our community night. June 5th is field day with a rain date of June 8th. June 9th is the grade 6 celebration trip to Waterford. June 11th is grade 6 graduation ceremony at Town Hall starting at 6 p.m. June 12th is the visit over to Swampscott Middle School for 6th graders. And then the 17th is our last day, half day. We'll do our annual flag lowering ceremony, and report cards will go home at that point. You'll enjoy your summer.
Busy.
Staffing, it's been busy. We have currently a 0.6 special education director and 504 person for next year being hired. We're going to do that Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in person if we can find somebody. That way, there is someone physically here in the building, and we know we've got 3 days to get a lot of work done. Then we have a part-time occupational therapist position, and those 2 positions this year, the director and this were through a contracted position. So now we're really hoping to hire our own. We'll see. If not, we'll go back to contractual services. I'm currently hiring an ESY OT for the summer. There is somebody that is in conversation with, so I'm hoping that we'll be hiring them very shortly. Then very excited to share that we have hired Sarah Gardner as a speech ESY for the summer. She is outstanding. Like, she walked out the door and we were like wanting to chase her, and I was like, wait, I have to get this a moment. It's in the parking lot. Absolutely, she's worked in absolutely outstanding in the sense of knowing her stuff, and she was clearly has worked in schools before and also has her craft in her experience. as a speech pathologist. She's done both Vermont and Massachusetts and works for a company called Chatterbox right now. So she's, able to do this work independently outside of her contractual work desires. So she is starting and she's going to come in and do a visit here at the school with Beth Scheinmark to kind of get to know the students and look at some of the modeling of her practices. We also have hired Miss Corinne Whittemore. She's our new special education teacher for this upcoming school year. She is coming to us from Colorado. However, she is born and raised here in Boxford, Massachusetts, and relocating back to her family. She has extensive experience in inclusive practices as well as intervention support, multilingual learn services, autism programming, and evidence-based special education. So she has she's been a case manager as well. So she has a great background that I think will be a very positive addition to the Johnson School. She's going to start this summer in the ESY program so that she can get to familiarity with some of the more students who we were afraid to regress. She'll get that relationship built with them this summer and then kick off the year. And our goal too is to make sure that this is really a smooth transition for Corinne in working with our interventionists so that we can build more of a collaboration between gen ed and special education. That's our goal. So that is my principal's report. Do you have any questions about it?
That's a lot. You've accomplished a lot. Thank you.
I wanted to go back to Mr. Lebo's report and just say to folks, including the line item, that's on the line, that the override, they're really important to us as a community. And the school committee, along with our school leaders here, have spent a lot of time looking at the numbers in the override. And we understand that it's a big ask for the town of Nahant. The town of Nahant is an aging town, and it is very difficult to buy a home here. If we do not have, as a competitive device, a world-class education in our schools, it will become increasingly hard to attract people over Swampscott to come and live in this beautiful island. It is going to take all of us working together to make sure that we protect this school. Young people in Massachusetts are imperiled if we do not have an external test. Right now, that is the MCAS. And even with the new work that Governor Healy is doing on the vision of the graduate, there will still be an externally referenced test, possibly called an end of course test. This is not going away. However, people might feel about it, we are going to have an externally referenced test. We cannot perform well as a school system on that if we do not have the supports in school to do it. We are so lucky to have the amazing educators that we do. And like Ms. Castonguay said, they're young and they are eager and hungry for more and continued professional development to be able to support that. It's also very difficult for a classroom teacher who is trying to teach 15 to 20 students to then dive in deep where specialists would be needed to be able to help get at what's underneath what's going on with individual young people, or to help the entire class be able to rise. It's a relationship between each teacher, even high-powered, you can have the best teacher in the world, and you still need to have these amazingly talented specialists in math and reading to make sure that we unlock all of the potential for these incredibly young people to go to our schools. So I want to appeal, because this is going to the town, as I can, with very few people here. But that this is really an important moment for Nahant that a lot of people have been working on, have interrogated, thought about. And so I think all of the asks are good for the town, including the first responders and public safety. But especially, please support our schools, because supporting our schools is supporting our town. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Lebo? The report.
Would just be the bill roll next, and then we'll have our presentation.
Great. Okay, we'll do our examination and authorization for payment of bills.
Got the bill rolls in front of you, and I sent a copy of it to Greg Payanessa, who's online.
Excellent.
Standard items, no surprises. Total amount 176,204 74. So with blessing, if we could have a vote to
Excellent.
approve that in a second.
Can you call for a motion to approve the bill roll in the amount of $176,204 and 74 cents?
I move that we approve the bill roll in the amount of $176,204.76.
Greg, we got a second?
Second.
Second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna hand this over to you, Mr. Brown, to sign, and we'll sign all the bills. Great. Anything else with the bills, Mr. Rebo?
We'll go right on to new business. And,
Okay. Let's go to new business. And we have a group of educators that have been hard at work on the school improvement plan for next year. So,
I'm gonna let Heather introduce everybody, and I wanna thank you for your patience in the start of the meeting, and especially for your commitment to the school, and being here tonight, and three rock stars are in front of you here to present the school improvement plan for Johnson Elementary School along with the principal. So I'm gonna turn things over to Heather. You introduce everybody, Heather, it'd be great.
I'm gonna turn this. Here we go. Okay. So we have three teachers here this evening who have, I was going to say volunteered, but they were voluntold and agreed. I asked them to present the school improvement plan because this is something that we've been working on as a staff this year, taking our school improvement plan from last year and then now building upon it for this coming year. And the work that in these decisions that were made for this were really built upon the work that the teachers do. And it's not like it's Mrs. Castingway's school improvement plan. It's Johnson Elementary's school improvement plan. And I want to make sure that everybody realizes that. So if I just sat here and presented it, it would sound like, oh, these are just her ideas. I really want it to come from those who the work comes from. And these three women here tonight show strong leadership in our school. And so I did ask them if they would present this evening because they are very vocal in our meetings, during staff meetings, and people who we can count on a regular basis to step up and really support Johnson Elementary. So thank you, ladies, for being here. We have Kayla Harrington, who's a 5-6 teacher. She's also one of our curriculum leads here at the school. Gabby Rademacher also is a 3rd grade teacher and also a curriculum lead at the school. Katie Pastor is a preschool teacher as well as an interventionist. And she basically does everything for me that I ask her to do. She's always on interview committees and volunteering in every capacity that she can. So this evening, we really want to bring some of this to your attention so that you can learn more about the work that we are doing, some of the things we've done, and where we're moving forward with our work. We're very excited to present to you this evening. I'm going to turn it over to Kayla. I'm going to get to you.
Thank you very much. I will be presenting strategic objective number 1, which relates to high quality, rigorous instruction and curriculum alignment. A lot of what we reviewed in strategic objective number 1 is an extension off of last year's improvement plan. There was a lot, and I appreciate Mrs. Castingway's effort to meet all the goals that I threw at her at the beginning of the year. So big extension, and I'm super excited about it. So the first initiative is implementing year 2 of Eureka Math Squared with integrity. We started it this year. It's been off to a wonderful start. The steps in which we want to take next year in order to dive deeper into Eureka is conduct walkthroughs to monitor its implementation, potentially having teachers walk through, see others teaching the content so that they have a better understanding. Also using lesson internalization methods for a deeper understanding of high quality, how high quality these materials are for our students and how we can always get better at teaching it rather than just reading from a script, and really understanding what we're teaching and making sure that it's helping our students grow. The third step would be integrating adaptive math programs such as Learn and IXL, which have been super important this year and within our WIN blocks and individualized learning, even within Tier 1 instruction. And the last step would be piloting a grade 5 and 6 grading system to align with Swampscott Middle School. So potentially looking at letter grades rather than not meeting, partially meeting, meeting and exceeding, which is super exciting and helps them align. Yes. The evidence we are hoping to see is daily implementation of Eureka Squared as evidenced by classroom observations, which would then increase our STAR Math and MCAS scores, which is a really big goal of ours in the past few years. We'll be looking at student growth points and the curriculum impact within that data. We also are looking for teachers to deeply understand the instructional materials, and it allows educators to prepare for, adapt, and deliver instruction that maximizes students' mastery. And finally, we want students to be better prepared for Swampscott Middle School with receiving letter grades within their transition. The second initiative is begin phase implementation of EL education, which is a high quality instructional material approved by DESE among grades K through 6. Our steps would be to pilot the program for select classrooms, so not everyone at once, but a few classrooms that are willing to pilot. Conduct professional development on curriculum and instructional routines, and then analyzing data with STAR, DIBELS, and MCAS to guide curriculum expansion. And this will often be done during our PLC meetings.
Kayla, can I interrupt you for a second? On the first one where it says pilot EL, part of that is saying piloting. We may do more classrooms. It will depend on budget because of the number of books that we're going to have to purchase and what we can fit within our budget. So we may start with the younger kids, and if we can expand that to the younger, we will still continue to be in 5-6 because we're that.
Can you say 2 sentences on what EL education, like what's distinctive about it?
What's distinctive?
Yeah.
Would you mind taking that? Yes.
Sure.
No, thank you.
So EL education is it's a high quality instructional material. So basically it is culturally diverse curriculum, but it also provides science of reading within it. So we want to make sure that kids are getting that exposure to that. So some of it is
literacy work.
It's all literacy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ELA. So it's literacy and it has some writing components to it, but we're finding we have to do some supplemental work.
That's great. Yeah. It's great to hear the science of reading being talked about here. And Johnson admitted have been a little bit concerned about that until that narrative started, which is great. Yeah.
And partially part of that too, in thinking about that, is that's where the money is really important for us for the professional development. Because right now, teachers are independently learning things as we're going, but we're not all having a common experience of the rollout of what is the science of reading. What does that look like in translation here in practice?
Whereas if we had a literacy specialist on staff, that person could be bringing a lot of that work to the teachers, rather than us all trying to, if we had independently do it, we had a coach that. That's maybe down the road, right?
Awesome. And we're looking for measurable growth within literacy outcomes on those assessments as well. Moving on to the third initiative, we're looking to strengthen our WIN blocks. WIN blocks are within our Tier 2 and stands for What I Need as part of MTSS, multi-tiered systems of support for targeted intervention. We're looking to review current WIN block structure and implement consistent schedules for intervention and enrichment. So we're meeting kids where they're at and getting them what they need. Using assessment data to group students and monitor progress and provide co-teaching support where needed, meaning we can work with each other across grade levels to help one another. The evidence we're looking to see is improved student performance in ELA and math interventions, documented progress monitoring, and evidence of differentiated instruction during our WIN blocks. Any questions on that? The last one is fostering collaborative, data-driven professional learning. This happens during our Friday PLC times, which stands for Professional Learning Community. We'll also implement data meetings that focus on curriculum integrity, data analysis, and sharing best practices. And finally, including peer observations where appropriate. This would be evidenced within our meeting agendas, data analysis reports, PLC notes, documenting our collaborative approach, and enhancing alignment and continuity of teaching practices.
Gabby.
Okay. All right, so I'm presenting about strategic objective 2, and just like Kayla has said and Ms. Castaway has said, all of this is everything that we've already started this year, but we'll continue to dive deeper into next year. So objective 2 focuses on creating a positive, equitable, and supportive school environment where all students can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. So the first initiative within this focuses on deepening social emotional learning, or SEL. So we're working on embedding SEL competencies such as self-management, social awareness, and relationship skills into daily classroom instruction. It will be woven into our regular school subjects as opposed to taught as a separate entity. So we will accomplish this through professional development, classroom observations, and teacher book studies. One of these being here that Ms. Castaway that we're all very excited to read and dive into. Staff will strengthen their ability to integrate these skills into academic learning, leading to, once again, measurable student growth. The second initiative focuses on expanding PBIS school-wide, PBIS being positive behavioral interventions and supports. Again, started it this year, continuing with next year. So we're working on strengthening our PBIS framework by revising our behavior lessons. We did quite a few of these this year during staff meetings, professional developments, but we're looking to really finalize those for next year so that each classroom is able to teach aligning with the grade level expectations, but also it can be a little more uniform as to what expectations are throughout each classroom. So by revising those, celebrating student success, and incorporating restorative practices. This work is intended to improve our school climate, reduce behavioral incidents, and increase student engagement. And again, we've begun working on this, but we'll continue to dive deeper next year. The third initiative focuses on fostering equity, belonging, and inclusion. So we are just continuing to commit to creating a safe, inclusive learning environment through trauma-informed practices, culturally responsive teaching, and equitable access to supports and enrichment opportunities. Our goal is for every student to feel valued, represented, and connected to our school community. And finally, our last initiative focuses on strengthening attendance through family partnerships. We will prioritize consistent attendance by clearly communicating expectations, monitoring attendance data, identifying concerns early, and partnering with families to address barriers. By building strong family-school partnerships, we aim to improve attendance, student engagement, and academic success.
How much of a problem is attendance at Johnson?
A large problem. There's a lot of absences that are not due to.
Okay.
I would say tardy as well. It's tardy as well. Yeah. Tardy is tardy.
So I'm going to present the third strategic objective, and it's professional culture and community engagement. And there's 3 initiatives under this one. Okay, the first one focuses on expanding family and community partnerships to support students academically and social emotionally. We plan to increase our family involvement through PTO outreach at our open house, which at the beginning of the year would be a great time to have the table set up at the open house and have parents sign up. We hope to have greater participation in our school events and a stronger community partnerships that will support enrichment and SEL initiatives. Success will look like increase in family engagement at our school events, stronger PTO participation, and expanded community involvement. And we'll track this through our attendance data, through offerings on Parent Square for the partnerships throughout the year. The second initiative is to continue implementation of our PBIS and our SEL practices across classrooms and grade levels. This work involves all staff working together to create consistent and supportive environments for students. The PBIS lesson plans were implemented this year in our shared spaces, like our hallways and our cafeteria and outdoor spaces. And they created consistent expectations and positive student behavior. Our staff has done a great job of really collaborating together and creating a supportive and respectful school climate through that. And so we hope to continue. Our goal is also to integrate SEL competencies into our daily instruction and classroom routines, while also creating more opportunities for student recognition, school spirit, healthy choices, and overall wellness. This year, Principal Casson Gray, she has kind of supported this by implementing this with our staff. We have staff shout outs that recognize and celebrate like positive contributions to staff. And it really creates it really helps you feel like you're part of the team, and it helps you stay involved and to know what is happening in the school. So it's been great. We see that being successful with our students. I also as an interventionist, I also see the SEL competencies integrated in lesson plans. Lately, I've noticed with the 5th and the 6th graders, when I work with them, that they integrate growth mindset into a lot of their lesson plans. And it really shows with the students because they take ownership of their work. They create goals themselves, and they push themselves to succeed and to keep continuing to grow. So I think this as a highlight for our entire school focus is going to be great next year. I'm excited. Let's see. We also want to continue strengthening those restorative practices across grades and shifting that focus from helping students repair harm and using the behavior matrix to guide responses to our student behavior. Staff will participate in professional development around the SEL, around the restorative practices and the de-escalation strategies. And an important part of this initiative is maintaining a positive mindset, like we've instilled in our students, but we also want our staff to have to really focus that all students are capable learners who may need different supports and approaches in order to be successful. So we'll monitor progress through our lesson documentation, our meeting notes, event planning materials, and staff participation in those professional development opportunities. And the final initiative of the school improvement plan is supporting our staff growth, retention, and overall capacity across roles, including teachers, administration, and ESPs. And a major focus for this will be aligning the professional development with the school priorities, including those high quality, the HQIMs, the EL education, which will be new for us all next year, Eureka Squared, which we've been working with this year, and our SEL competencies. So staff will feel supported in implementing the curriculum throughout our instructional practices consistently. So we'll continue to build a positive and supportive school culture by listening to staff feedback, strengthening restorative practices, and using conflict resolution strategies to support collaboration and staff well-being. So success in this area will look like stronger instructional practices, more consistent curriculum implementation across the classrooms, and positive staff feedback with improved staff retention. So, great job.
Do you have any questions?
Great. I'll say it's feels good to see inclusion and equity continue to be a big part of the school improvement plan, even despite the times that we're in. That's really important for the development of students inside of the school system. So I appreciate seeing that in particular. Thank you. I'd love to get a motion to accept the 2026-27 school improvement plan as presented by our educators here.
I move that the school committee approve the improvement plan for 2026 through 2027, presented this evening by our excellent staff.
Can I get a second?
Yeah, I would just like to say that was a fabulous presentation. Thank you all so much for all your hard work, and I second that.
Excellent. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. So, congratulations. Hey, thank you guys.
The one time in the entire year that the superintendent takes the meeting for just a moment
We'll love it.
while we reorganize the school committee after the town elections were held. So, first order of business is to determine a new chair for the school committee. And I would call for nominations for that position.
I nominate Beth Anderson to be chair of the Nahant School.
The other nominations? Hearing none, if we could have a motion and a second and a vote.
I move.
Motion.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Oh, Meredith, please go ahead.
Greg,
Please.
I don't want to overstep.
No, please go ahead.
I don't want to overstep the attorney in the room.
Sure.
No.
I move that we approve the nomination of Beth Anderson as school committee chair.
Second.
Now we would have a vote. All in
All in
favor?
favor?
I'm afraid, I'm terrified. Oh, all in favor? I don't know what I can speak for.
Aye.
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 Passes 3-0.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It looks like there's big shoes
Now I
to
will
fill.
turn the meeting
Yes.
over to you for
Okay.
the same process for vice chairman and secretary.
Great. I would like to, and I'm allowed to nominate, right? As the chair, am I allowed to nominate?
Anybody can nominate.
Okay.
I
I'd
just want to
like,
call for nominations
Yeah.
for vice chair.
I would like to nominate Greg Panessa as vice chair of the school committee. Second, excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yay, congratulations, man.
Congrats.
Could I get a nomination for secretary?
I nominate Meredith Thibault to be
Excellent.
secretary of the school committee.
I second that nomination heartily. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Is that it for the officers?
We have our closely, yeah, we have closely.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right, go us. Excellent.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to say that my work life has been a little bit demanding, like more demanding lately over the last few months, which is maybe a little bit non-traditionally erratic in the school committee, and I apologize for that. It's for a good reason. A school system can really only move as far as its leaders, and so we were able to in my professional life hire some new leaders, and I need to get them on board as well. But that is going swimmingly, and so I will hope to return to my more regular temperate self as I rise into the chair position. I definitely got up in the hot school committee, so thank you for the latitude lately and for moving this meeting. I appreciate it. All right. All right, now that we've reorganized, Rob, do you want to go through the future agenda items?
Yep. So we have nothing really for our next May 26th one, possibly a decision about a special services director, special education director. And that's one of the few positions that we don't, as a school administration, act upon. The school committee must act.
Yeah.
You act upon the superintendent, you act upon your business manager, and you act upon your special services director.
Okay.
So we're hoping that we'll have some folks, we had a couple step up and they pulled their names for different opportunities. It's tough being a part-time position. But we're hopeful. And if not, we're in a contracted relationship this year anyway, as you know. And we could theoretically continue with that if we had to, but I think it would be a lot better if we had our own individual for that position. Also taking on the team chair responsibilities in 504 and Title IX, and they'd actually be our individual. So that's what we're hoping for, and we still have hope for that.
And that's for the June 9th meeting, but that's not the next meeting, is it? Or is it?
What's that?
Is the June 9th the next meeting?
We might be able to have that by that point.
No, I mean, it all says
May
June,
26th.
May 26th is our next meeting, correct?
Right,
Yeah.
that's our next meeting, and
It won't be any of these things.
if that doesn't come to fruition, it's possible that you wouldn't have to have one on May 26th, because there may not be a lot of agenda items. The
Okay.
others sort of stack up on the June 9th meeting. And their request for fund transfers to balance out, prepare to close the budget, authorization for the summer months, because you won't be meeting in July, have a meeting in later August. You have to authorize the superintendent to act on your behalf regarding any bills that have to be paid. You have to take a vote on the acceptance of the FY 27 grant funds, participation in National School Lunch and Breakfast Program. And then you have to approve your standard list of topics for next year. And those are all right now on the June 9th agenda. There is a second meeting in June, see where we're at. I think there'll still be a need for budget transfers. And then we had as a placeholder the first meeting in July, if needed. And then we go into the cycle starting on August, exact date. And we had also developed a schedule. I think I put the list out there that during budget season, we would have 2 meetings a month. The other months have more packed agendas.
That's great.
If we didn't have to meet twice a month, that would be ideal. And that we would change the starting time from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Starting with that July meeting, it would be a 6 o'clock.
That'd be great.
So I'll let you know about the 26th. If we had a special services candidate, it would be important we act upon that. And it would be a quick meeting, but we would need to act upon that.
That's
And it
fine.
might be possible, depending on the scenario of where their irons are in the fire, that I might ask people to come together for a quick special meeting even before that. But it
That's okay.
depends on where we're at.
And if they couldn't physically come, they could Zoom, potentially if there were childcare needs or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Yep.
That's great.
Okay, so that's the list of future agenda.
Okay. Anything else for this meeting?
So, any
Great.
other business that I have?
All right. If no school committee member has any other business, then I think it's a plus. All right. Do you want to make a motion to close the meeting?
I move that we close the, what is it again, May
May 11th?
May 11th, school committee meeting at, let's see, 8:05 on the nose.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
second,
Aye. Great. The meeting is closed.
aye.
Is adjourned. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. All right. Great job. Thank you. Heather and Katie, Kayla and Katie, thank you.
Great job.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Beth.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. Greg, I owe you a debt of gratitude for a beer or something.